thriving computer business, a talented husband. Where did it all go wrong? Former private investigator turned astrologer Val Evans investigates what happened to a beautiful woman who was about to enjoy freedom. Will the stars lead us to her location?
And welcome, I'm Val Evans. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I have Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot. Hi, Amber.
Thanks for having me again.
Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And if you're tuning into this channel for the first time, we use ancient astrology techniques and astrological charts. So in astrology, that means we capture the sky map using the timestamp of the moment a victim was last seen. And a special welcome to the members who make this content possible, the valedictorians. So keep an eye on the community tab for that. I'll also be live on Monday for a Princess Catherine Part 2 show to discuss her future in the royal family, and that's on Monday. Now to the story that has shocked the friends and family of Ana Maria Knezevic, a Fort Lauderdale woman who ran a successful IT business with her husband and who recently went missing during a solo trip to Madrid on February 2nd, 2024. She and her Serbian husband, David, were separated and a reportedly nasty divorce was underway. Now, David left the US in January and had flown to Serbia. She had left in December. So no one is currently answering the phones at their local business that they grew together, that she helped him build, that Anna helped David build. And that's in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. So the mail was seen piling up at their residence. I'm going to show you the odd text that was sent to one of Anna's friends from her phone. And because of the style of writing, no one that she knows thinks that it's actually from her. So it was basically a text saying she's great, she met a guy, and she'll call when she gets back. And you see people that are very, very smart, but then they just don't think. I mean, I think I got it. I think I know what happened here. She knows this person. What do you think?
I do suspect that it is connected to her divorce. Absolutely.
And if it was her husband, this guy, I mean, you look on the Google reviews for some of the things that they do, and all they talk about is that they are smart. They're like, these are smart people. So, you've got somebody who's so brilliant in tech. Why would he do something like this is the question that you want to ask. Somebody was seen in a helmet spray painting over the neighborhood surveillance cameras in Madrid where Anna was visiting. And so we're going to mark this up just like we would normally. And on one side is the victim, represented by Virgo. So interesting that if you listen to some of the descriptions of Anna, they call her fastidious, they call her detailed, very Virgo types of adjectives. And so one of the things that I noticed, now you always look at the seventh house, as you know, for the opponent, or in this case, a possible perpetrator. And right there is the Lord of the seventh house, which is very telling. Now, Neptune represents a disguise. So this man is using a disguise, obviously a motorcycle helmet. And Mars and Mercury show a small vehicle. And the reason I point to that is because there is a sextile to it. So it kind of adds to the whole profile. It's a disguised Could be a motorcycle or a disguised car. So that's one thing we see. The other thing we see is the hidden enemy is in Leo. And that makes me think that this is a Leo type. This could be, so that's going to give a profile of what he looks like. We know what Leo men look like. So just keep that in mind. And then what we would do is we would go to the Lord of the 12th to see more information about this hidden enemy. And we have the sun in a T-square. This guy is just out of his mind. You can see the T-square. When you are looking at a T-square in your own chart or somebody's chart that you know, this is a major issue for that time period. And the sun is the hidden enemy here. So this guy, or whoever it is, he's gone out of his mind. And what do we think he's gone out of his mind about? Well, we have Moon in Scorpio, which can be revenge. And then we also have Jupiter in the eighth house of revenge. So this person, I believe, wants to take revenge. So that's part one of my profile. I want to switch over to you.
So, well, one thing I noticed in the chart is Mars at 22 degrees, which really just jumped out at me as you were sharing. But yes, I pulled sort of Anna's energy just to tap in and see if I was on point. My intuition seems to be accurate based on what you just shared, which is so interesting to me always. Queen of Serpents, which is Queen of Swords, and the Three of Serpents. And so I was just sort of thinking about her condition, her current state. And the other two cards indicate Queen of Swords is usually a divorced woman, but also someone with a very sharp tongue, or could have a sharp tongue. She speaks up for herself. She doesn't, shy away from an argument. And the Three of Swords is heartbreak. So her energy is very, very difficult. It's difficult. It's sad. And then there's this breathe for her, the breathe card, which I know she was sort of escaping the circumstance of this difficult divorce, sort of getting a breath, taking a respite. And the other card that came out was time for a nap. So I felt like that really did talk to me about Anna. For her husband, I have the Fool, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Two of Cups. And all totaled together, my intuition was that this person is potentially narcissistic, has a very quick temper, maybe could be sort of, I was thinking about money, and I thought he might have some spending habits, gambling problems, something with money. He's very quick to take action and doesn't really think through, and quick to fight about something with the Five of Swords. And I asked the question, why? Why is this happening? Why is she missing? And the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Star, which tells me someone did not get what they wanted. Someone did not get their wish. And that kind of ties into the revenge idea as well. So I'm curious to see what you see in terms of motive.
Amazing. It certainly does look financial to me. And so let's just jump back to the chart. And let's see if I can do this. I'll make it extra small. I'll make us extra small so we can see it more. And you're absolutely right. With you can see that at around 9:30, we have Mars at 22, which is the killer, I think, because of that 22 degrees, which can mean kill or be killed. It's in the fifth house. So the fifth house sometimes can can be like a little place where you can park. I mean, fifth house is parking. So he might have been parking there, or, he parks and then he sprays the surveillance camera. And at this point, he's not in the house. The fourth house is the house. Maybe she's just getting home or something, but it seems as if she's outside too. Maybe doesn't see him because of this Neptune. Neptune is disguise. You can't see. Now, you had said about kind of a sharp tongue. And I noticed that a little bit too with the Black Moon Lilith right by the ascendant. That can mean basically telling somebody how they feel and in an unvarnished way. And so I definitely think that that could be part of it.
The other thing with Mercury, I wondered, is someone who's very petite, very small stature.
Absolutely, yes.
Just
petite. And and that's why next to Mars, it might be a small vehicle. And then Mercury in Capricorn, this can be somebody who, Capricorn is somebody who might be a little bit depressed, but can also have dark features as well, maybe dark hair like she does. The thing about also Mercury is that it was a little bit after this time, and this is the 930 chart, that she gets on a phone call with her friend. So she's communicating. Mercury means to communicate. And the problem is that now we're down into the fourth house. And this killer, I believe, somehow got in there. And maybe she can't see him right away. But because of the square to the North Node there in Aries, this shows harm. It shows something that's violent. So this obviously happened inside. There might be some evidence inside the home. You would think that there would be. I know that her brother is very frustrated because there's a language barrier. There is, she's from Colombia, and so is her brother. So what I'm also seeing too is the seventh house can be a mate. Okay, it could be a partner. And the eighth house is the second house, which is money. Okay, so this is the money house for the partner. And you see Jupiter there, which is the traditional ruler of husband. It seems as if because of that T square, he is feeling that there is some kind of financial element that he is going to, it's just unfavorable for him. Now I have Mercury here. The perpetrator is Neptune and also Jupiter, and also shows that this person is of foreign descent when it's in Pisces. Pisces means foreign. He is probably going to be caught, and he's going to be very surprised about it. And why do I say that? Well, I look at Mars, and that's the police. And there's a nice trine here to Uranus. When that's the case in a crime chart, it's usually good because it shows technology is on their side. They're able to think one step ahead because Uranus is very fast, it's futuristic, it's visionary. And the other thing too is the way that these charts go is counterclockwise. If this was captured, the next aspect that Jupiter is going to make is towards Uranus, which shows that he is going to basically step into this trap from the police. So that'll be the next thing that happens. Now, it might take a few months. There's quite a bit of time between Jupiter and Uranus with this timestamp. Sometimes a degree can mean days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. But I think it'll be between weeks and months here. He will get caught. And it's pretty obvious what's happening, though. I mean, she leaves in December. He leaves for Serbia in January. And then she goes missing in February. So if anything did happen and it was him, there must have been some kind of access to just basically knowing where she was. Because what happened, she was supposed to leave on the train. I think it was the next day. So this person knew her schedule somehow. And So I'm trying to see her schedule. Now, her communications would be Pluto. I mean, you can see that he's here, Neptune. He's disguised, and he can see her online, Aquarius, online communications. Now, the fifth house is the family. So maybe, it's a family account or something like that. But there is somebody that she knows, I think, that saw her communications, saw her itinerary when she would travel. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Marian. And also hello to everyone, M. Taylor. And then Ida Silva is on. And everybody else, Colby. It's usually love, money, or drugs from what cop YouTubers say anyway for most motives. There's got to be a motive. And then Eileen says, my ex from many years ago was a Leo and he's very handsome. That was the problem. LOL. Couldn't be faithful. Leo men, they like to pounce. They're like cats, If you haven't already, please like this show so everybody can see it and it gets into that algorithm. So let's look at what you're thinking as far as the next cards. Yeah.
I started to pull a few, and the message that comes through is interesting if you see any of this in the charts as well to confirm it. But I would be remiss if I didn't say, I think that if there's someone responsible for her disappearance, it was planned. I have the Three of Pentacles, and I also have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which feels like it might have had an origination sort of plan that didn't work and was delayed, or something sort of went sideways where they should have, could have, would have, but didn't. And it is sort of this long planned thing with the Seven of Pentacles, and someone is very angry about the delay or the mishap or whatever went wrong initially. It was sort of sparked, whatever happened in early February when she did in fact go missing. I would say that this was a second effort based on a very reactionary, well, now is the time. You have to do this now. You failed previously. That's what I had there. But we wanted to talk, I think you said motive, right? More on motive.
Yes. And interesting that you pulled that. It seemed like a king that was reversed, and we were talking about a Leo.
This is the Emperor, Aries.
Okay.
Fire sign, a little bit of a temper, especially in reverse. He's out of control. Very much out of control, with no boundaries and total chaos and anger.
Okay. And no wonder she wanted to flee and just cool down a little bit. And it, when you're married and you're separated and you want to get out of the country, it's almost like you have this
alone.
Yeah. And you have this innate sense that maybe you need to get out of town,
Escape.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we see for motive. Definitely financial. 10 of Pentacles in reverse is a large loss, a large financial loss. If, again, here, the Queen of Swords in the upright, if someone talks, perhaps her, if she speaks on something that could be someone's downfall, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, like this would completely turn someone's life upside down if someone spoke about it. And the Hermit in reverse too is about saying something that might have otherwise been kept secret.
Wow. That's new.
Yeah.
Because
she might have known something financial that if she was talking about it, it could have been a huge loss with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now she is a realtor, and then she helped him with their computer. So I'm sure she knows, where all the secrets are buried. So hey, Cicada, nice to see you. Yeah, maybe she was going to speak out about something.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Okay, so let's get back to this chart. And This is the horary. I just asked it tonight. And what was really weird, I mean, I'm in the US and I pulled it, what was it like? Maybe 8:30 Central Time. And it's almost exactly the same as the crime chart. It's so weird. And so I was just like, what happened to Anna? And what's interesting here is there is the moon, and it is, and I'll make myself a little bit bigger here. The moon is right on the MC. And that shows to me that she is not interested in helping when it comes to the career, the communications, and there's some kind of nasty Black Moon Lilith, dark, secret communication here between maybe Anna and the person that represents the moon. So the 11th house could mean not able to connect with someone like a friend. It could also mean that maybe there is some kind of breakdown in communications when it comes to a network. 11th house is network. And so the yod just points straight to her. I'm going to say that there's some kind of secret when it comes to communications, and look at how much Aquarius is here. This means network. This means something it has to do with a database, I think, a very successful database. And here's one thing too. You can see that the sun, which represents the hidden enemy here, potentially a Leo, is squaring part of fortune. So this person is not going to get away with this. It's not going to work. So that's the one thing that I can see coming from this. And just so much foreign energy from the partner. Obviously, this profile, this is of a foreign partnership of some sort. Disguised. Really, this person thought he could get away with whatever it is. I think also something that's really powerful in this chart is the big grand trine there with the moon. Now, the moon, and it's a little bit in the 9th house, which is a headline. So we've got this big triangle. It's a huge flow of energy. We've got 18 degrees of the south node in the 2nd house of finances. And then we've got her on the other side of this. It looks as if not only that she's going to become famous, which she already has in the news, but there's something else. 20 degrees is the Scorpio degree. It is getting revenge on something. And it just doesn't look very good. Let me see here. Pluto is also a big, like it's all in this 5th house here, which can show maybe somebody was caught with, somebody on the side. So on like some kind of, now, I mean, we already said it was financial, but it could be financial after somebody was caught. So 5th house, this is like a lover with Aquarius that's online. So that's like an online app, really.
Where would gambling be?
Yeah, it could be gambling too. 5th house is gambling. Absolutely. Online gambling. Yes. Oh, I hope they can hear you. Hold on one second. Let me pull you in. Yeah. So you were saying gambling, and maybe we should, do you want to pull any cards on, if there was some kind of either, I don't know, gambling debts, or maybe I'm interested to find out if there could have been, maybe somebody was caught.
You know what it feels like? And I don't know much about this other than the headlines from the past. Bernie Madoff-ish. Something, not, I say gambling, but that's sort of what I think about on a larger scale. I don't necessarily think her husband had a gambling problem, but something that she does know, and that is, does not, he does not want to be said.
And Marion, it makes a good point. Mercury is a copy of the
Yes.
database. So a copy of the customers. So that could be part of it too.
Yes.
So definitely I think the police are going to really check out that data trail, and they might find some things that she, maybe he thought she had something on her and he wanted to get it, So I think that's what we're looking for, a clue as to, was there something that she had that he wanted?
I have some repeat cards that are really interesting.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. The bottom of the deck again is the 10 of Pentacles. So it just confirms that it is financial, and it's lots of money. And the 4 of Pentacles is the miser, holding on to money. Could even be considered, taking money.
Yeah.
Holding on to someone's money. With the Emperor, someone who has their own business that's in charge and maybe a little bit unstable and unpredictable. That's a good word. With the Star, it's like it's their dream, it's their hopes, it's everything, it's the future. This 10 of Pentacles is long-term wealth and gain. But with the 4 of Pentacles, it's like putting something to the side.
Interesting. Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right. So we're pretty sure on that. Now let's figure out where Anna is. And so here's the location I have. I have that she is likely northwest. Okay, I'm going to pick Saturn for her. I'm also going to pick, she's Mercury, so maybe a little bit more north too. Saturn usually means when, somebody is no longer with us, we would pick Saturn. I know that the tarot can give us some really good clues as to the elements, if we're on the right track. Oh, I just said that right as Marion said that. Marion, you must be psychic.
I love
And
that.
Justice. She gets just, he says. Okay. Wow. And thank you for not being so, for being a little vague there. That helps. The article also speaks of substantial amount of money to lose in divorce. Yeah, maybe that's possible. Thank you, Colby. And yeah. All right. So as far as, finding her, what do you think we should do or ask?
Well, when you were talking, and I'd love feedback from, the members in the chat group, for location, I actually got a little hit here about, I don't know that she wasn't held somewhere. I don't think that date is the date of anything substantial, if I say it that way.
Okay.
I've used this deck for 5 years and I've never seen this card. I've never seen this card out of this deck. I have a different deck that's similar, but I have the Void, which is like the missing, just gone. And then I had right behind it that came out was the Purity card. And the first thing that jumped at me was a blindfolded woman that appeared to be sort of like a captive person with this blindfold. I don't know if you can see the imagery at the very bottom of this card of a woman lying below the void
in the middle of something.
Yeah. Everything looks very forested, and I know that this looks very green. Some of the other cards are very green.
Okay. Let me see here. What does Anna want to tell us? Makes me sad asking that.
Yeah. It's about the relationship, 2 of Cups. Money.
Jeez.
An argument, 5 of Wands.
Okay.
And there is peace.
She's at peace. She's at peace. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, he really does not look like he is successful at all. This is part of fortune, and it's squaring really like in a major way the Lord of the seventh house of perpetrator. So this guy is he doesn't have luck on his side here. But big cliffs. Oh, you mean in general? Spain? And here is where she was, Salamanca, right here. So I'm still seeing northwest. And oh my God, look at this. Wow. This is the green space. This is in here. She's in here. Oh God.
And if there are any Mercury type names.
Look, La Casa de Campo, which is Leo, camp. So, lots of parks. She's in here. Well, can we ask? Can we ask if she's in the park? Oh, field is campo.
And
Whoa.
this is the card that I pulled, the abundance card, very similar to the nourishment card, but it looks like a forest. Just looks very green and forestry. And I did get a different, I got the purity card again that I had for her earlier with that blindfold. And I also have the peace card. Remember how I said she's at peace? And this is a different deck. And change. This is sort of the death card in an oracle deck. Quite shattered looking. That's a beautiful card. Yeah, I feel like if there's timing here with the efforts on law enforcement, August through October might provide an update or information. That would be my guess based on the cards so far. August of this year through October might be very important with information. Did we lose Val?
Sorry. I wonder if we could look at the crime chart and see clear timing like we do with the soul return charts. And this is just occurring to me. Let me see here. I'm going to pull, oops. I'm going to pull the crime chart again. And so you're saying August through October?
August through October, specifically a lot of October cards. Or the fall. Which I guess could start in August.
Oh, you know what? The ninth house is pretty close to Algol. It's losing one's head and probably over court, which is the ninth house. And this is around this time period. That's October. So we have, if we're going to look at this like we do with the solar return chart, so this would be February, March, April, May, July, August. The seventh house would be August. So we might know more about what's going on. So we'll have to see if that timing works. And just has everything, just talented, everything in front of her, her life ahead of her. And she knew what she needed to do. She needed to get away. And somehow, and I've seen this with some of my clients, I can easily see that somebody can see what they're doing. You can easily see it. And sometimes some people will be like, well, he does have the key to my house, or, he does have my passwords. And so then the conversation starts and it's like, okay, well, he's looking, or he does have access and he is using it. And so this potentially could have happened with her where, her travel information was exposed.
Marion, this is for Marion. When she sent her message, the gratitude card came out. When she shared that, she says, thank you for caring to help find her. This is the card I had when she typed that. So thank
Wow.
you, Marion.
Wow, wow, wow. Glow with the flow. The partner, terrible divorce, apparently was CEO of a computer science company. So yes, databases, also probably spying. But allegedly, and something that is our opinion. So, gosh. Well, it's heavy stuff. And we looked at 2 countries today. So hopefully, it's funny. That's Mercury, you know. We're leaning into the Mercury. But Glow with the Flow, Dr. David Knezevic is the CTO of Axelis. Yes. Oh, you know what? I should probably show you that slide I had. And nope, hold on 1 second. There he is. Look at all that hair. You know?
Just wow.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, I always say something about the goatee too. That is algal, you know, that kind of, that style tends to be, you know, it's weird. It's weird how they grow that when their personality changes sometimes. So yeah, maybe, we don't know. I would love to find out his birthday. So anyway, great
Amazing.
to talk with everybody, and we will be seeing you again, I'm sure, in the next few days. And then, of course, if you would like to reach out to Amber, I'll have her email address in this description, but you can also catch her email address in some of the other shows that we've done. And we'll catch you soon. So thanks so much. And thanks, Amber. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. All right. Thank you, chat. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good one.